Hey everyone, welcome to Kempner Canucks. My name is RevTrev, and I'm so glad you're here because today we are going to be talking about a massively controversial subject, Elias Pettersson. What to do with Elias Pettersson? Can Elias Pettersson help this team rebuild, or is it time for him to go? We're going to dive into all the good, the bad, and the ugly of Elias Pettersson and what the Canucks should do with this guy. Hey, listen, we all want him to play at his best, but it's been a minute since we've seen it. Can he bounce back? Can he help this team move in the right direction? Or is it time for Petey to go? Let's dive into it. I'm so glad you're here. All right, we're diving into it. My title is Let's Go Petey. Should Petey stay or go? Now, when Petey was struggling, Jason Bruff on his show, Halford and Bruff, encouraged Canuck fans to be encouraging by saying some kind of chant like, let's go Petey. And so fans started to do that. I went to a game and I heard these chants. Everyone's going, let's go Petey, while he was in the warm-up. I heard the chants, and I've seen it in the games where the fans would do that. And in my opinion, it's just my opinion, if I was Petey, that wouldn't motivate me because I know that I was in a funk. That actually discouraged me. That I needed the fans to chant like that because, you know what? It didn't work. It didn't work. He didn't turn it around. He didn't have his revenge tour like all the PD police were saying that we need to sign these apology letters, and he didn't bounce back. You know what? It's one thing when they're saying Kiefer Sherwood, but it's let's go Petey because you're struggling. And now those chants of positivity you're hearing in the comments with people talking on the street. Most Canuck fans, I would say the majority of Canuck fans, have turned on EP40, and the new chant this season might be let's go Petey, as in it's time for you to go to another team. So the question is, should the Canucks management trade EP40? Should the Canucks fans want him gone? Can they put enough pressure on him to want to leave? Or is it in the best interest of the Canucks to keep him and to see if he will actually turn things around? It's going to be one of those ones that we're going to talk about honestly, openly. And now I want you to know that I think that EP40 is a talented player. We have seen some incredible plays and goals by him in the past. I think he's an elite level passer. I think he's an excellent defensive forward. I think that he's got a really nice shot. I wish he would shoot the puck more. I do think there's some physical pieces to his game that aren't there. I mean, he's never going to have the size. He's never going to be the big bruising hitter. He's not going to be a power forward, and that's okay. You don't need him to be that. But a lot of people have called him Bambi because he's so easy to knock off the puck. It bothers me. Little things like his, back check like that. What do you call it? I'm saying it wrong. It's the backwards check that he does. I think it's really cheap. And I don't appreciate it. I like it when you're head on with a guy, shoulder to shoulder. I think what he does, it's really dangerous for the game, and it should just be canceled. Do I hate Pettersson? No. I do not like his recent production. and I don't like his demeanor. And there's a lot of things that I don't like, but there's a lot of things about Elias Pettersson I do like. And like I said, I think he is very talented. The problem is he was talented in the recent past. Well, I should say in the past, middle past, but he's been horrible in the recent past. Okay? So let me talk about that for a minute. Let's go over Elias Pettersson's recent point production because lately it's been putrid. And we're going to go over his career right now. We're going to dive into it, okay? We're going to absolutely dive into it right now. I'm bringing up the graphic so I can see it, so you can see it, okay? So I'm going to take down this banner so people can see it better. All right, in Pettersson's career, you can see it all laid out before you if you're watching this on video. If you're watching this on audio, I'm going to describe everything. He's had 4 All-Star selections in his first season, in his second season, and of course, in his 2 monster seasons, as you can see with the lime green. Massive points equaled massive recognition, and he went to the All-Star game. So a 4-time All-Star, okay? He started his career out with 66 points in 71 games, followed up with his second year with 68 games, 66 points. 66 points in his first 2 years. Now, he was within 1 goal and assist of each other. So 28 goals in his rookie season and 38 assists, 27 goals in his second year and 39 assists. Look at the shots on goal, everyone. In his rookie year, he had 144 shots on goal. In his second year, he had 162 shots on goal. He went down in goals only by 1. He had 10 power play goals in his rookie year, 8 in his second year, 16 power play assists in his his rookie year, and 16 power play assists in his second year, and then 7 game-winning goals in his rookie year, 5 game-winning goals in his second year. Now then, his third year was the COVID year. There was only 26 games played, but he had 21 points, 10 goals, 11 assists. Then you look at 2021, 2022. He had basically the exact same points. He had 2 more points, and he played more games. He had almost a full season, 80 games, but he had 32 goals and 36 assists. Now, how can that be? Because that's 68. Yeah, that's 68. 68 points, okay? 68 points. And then he had 192 shots on goal that season, 10 power play goals, 17 power play assists, and only 3 game-winning goals. You've seen a trend that's going down for him. 7 game-winning goals in his rookie season, 5 in his second season, and in his fourth season, which is technically 3.5 because of COVID, 3 game-winning goals. Now, then he has his highest point production of his career, 2022, 2023, 80 games. He jumped from 68 points to 102 points, 39 goals. He was playing with Kuzmenko, 36 assists, 257 shots on goal, 6 power play goals, 19 power play assists, and 6 game-winning goals. Then comes the 2023-2024 season where his contract is coming to an end, and he had signed a bridge deal already, I believe, and he had 89 points, 80 games, 34 goals, 55 assists, 207 shots on goal. That's 50 less than the year before. 13 power play goals, so that is the highest of his career. 18 power play assists, 10 game-winning goals. Again, the highest of his career. But the moment he signed that contract, he started to struggle. $11.6 million over 8 years, and he was on pace. In fact, I believe in January, if I remember correctly, him and Sam Reinhart, is that right? Sam Reinhart from the Florida Panthers were leading the NHL in goals in January, and he dropped off the map. No, I think they had the most goals in January. I think he had 14 goals in January each. It was crazy. Whatever it is, he was on fire. Signs that contract, and this is the year we go to the playoffs and lose in Game 7 to the Edmonton Oilers. Petey didn't have a lot of power play points, right? If you think about that, or not power play, sorry, playoff points. My apologies. Let me just bring that up because I do want to make sure I say this correctly, because didn't he play 13 power or playoff games? Let's see, playoffs. Yeah, 13 playoff games, 1 goal, 5 assists, 6 points, and we ended up losing. And I know it's a team game, but part of it was Petey's production wasn't there. Now, 6 points in 13 games, that's just not good enough. A lot of fans are like, we're done. He's not a playoff guy. Okay, he's not a playoff guy. So I get it. I understand. It makes sense to me why people started being out on Pettersson. Here's the other thing, though, that we need to consider. That maybe, no, we won't get into there yet. We won't get into what about this season, because I do want to finish the next 2 seasons. And a lot of you there are looking at it and going, oh my goodness, this is crazy, right? So you're sitting there watching him, and he's in 2024, 2025. He gets 45 points, lowest of his career other than the COVID year, right? You've got 64 games he only played, so he struggled with some injuries. Lowest game total of his career, 45 points, 15 goals, 30 assists, only 109 shots on net, 7 power play goals, 9 power play assists, only one game-winning goal. And then last season, 2025, 2026, he's got 51 points in 74 games played, 10 more games, and got 6 more points. 15 goals again, 36 assists, 131 shots only on goal. And then you're talking about only 4 power play goals, 9 power play assists, and 0 game-winning goals. And that is why a lot of people have now just jumped off the bandwagon, and they're done with Pettersson. But should we be done with Pettersson? Can Petey bounce back with new head coach Manny Malhotra? That's a good question. That's a really good question. Maybe he can. Maybe he needs someone else. Maybe a guy like Adam Foote is not the guy that needed to help revitalize his career. And what does a bounce back look like for Petey? I did talk about this the other day, so I'm trying not to sound like a broken record, but it's hard not to because they're the same things that come up. But bounce back is, and again, if you look at these numbers, okay, what's a bounce back? Some people are saying anywhere between 60 and 70 points is a bounce back. No. That is his rookie campaign numbers. You want him to go back. You're going to be satisfied with this. You're going to be satisfied with 60 to 70 points. I'm not satisfied with that. We need to be north of 70. In fact, my opinion, it's got to be 80 to 100 points. That's a bounce back for Pettersson. Okay? Like anything less than that for 11.6 is like, hey, that contract's looking good now. No, it's not. Let's stop trying to make it look good. It doesn't look good. And you know what? Another thing that doesn't look good is that he actually doesn't get along great with the Twins. It has been so many reports and rumors saying that, you know what, Pettersson and the Twins don't get along, that he doesn't take advice from the Twins. There's all kinds of, is that true? I keep hearing this, and I wonder where there's smoke, there's fire. And like, my opinion is, if it's true, okay, if it's true, if you can't get along with the Twins, who can you get along with, right? So we know that Petey's recent point production has been putrid, but can he bounce back? Now, the excuses for Elias Pettersson, in my opinion, have been exhausting. And let me just share with you a list with this. And I made a video on this. I just started writing on all the excuses that I read on Twitter, that I heard on the radio, that I heard in different podcasts and different social media outlets that were Canucks focused. And I just started writing these down. Excuses for Pettersson's poor production. Bad line mates. He's inexperienced. He's too small. Oh, he's injured. He's got mental health issues. He loves video games too much. Contract negotiations mid-season, that's a bad idea. Why didn't you wait till the end of the year? The rift between him and JT Miller. Tendinitis. He misses Kuzmenko. He can't handle the pressure. He's not moving his feet. He isn't shooting enough. He's tentative. He's playing only in the outside. He doesn't have the time yet to build chemistry with DeBrusk and Besser. He misses Coach Boudreau. The media is too mean. He needs line mates who have more speed. That people need to fire Rick Tocchet because he's bad for Pettersson. That his wife had 2 miscarriages. And before you jump on me on that one, that's the excuse that we keep hearing. And I want you to know that I totally understand, because my wife and I experienced 2 miscarriages as well. Not easy to go through, but this is one of the excuses that people are saying why Pettersson has struggled the last 2 years. Now, new excuses are, well, the new head coach, Adam Foote, is too defensive-minded. And then I kept hearing he has a nagging wrist injury. There's more, but it's too many. And so these are the lists that I keep hearing. And the main one that keeps coming up is like, well, he had toxic teammates. And we'll get into that in just a moment. The other one is that he had bad line mates. And that one keeps coming up over and over again. He hasn't played with anyone good. And it's like, really? Well, when he played with Kuzmenko, he played really well. When he was on the Lotto line with JT Miller and Brock Besser, he played really well. Guess what? Take away JT Miller from that line, add DeBrusk, and that line looks horrible. There was no chemistry. Why can't Elias Pettersson, who used to play well with Brock Besser in the past, why can't he play good with Brock Besser now? JT Miller is the only guy that really consistently played well with Brock Besser. It blows my mind. The other thing that bunks this line mate argument is this. He played at the 4 Nations Cup plus the Olympics on Team Sweden, and he had great line mates like Philip Forsberg, Lucas Raymond, and I'm missing one of the guys. He played on both of their teams. I should know this answer already. There's another guy that is there that I can't remember who it was. But these all were what you would consider excellent Swedes. Productive. Oh, Kempe. Kempe was the other one. I mean, you can't play with those guys. You have the excuse that, oh, no, Höglander's not good enough. Mikheyev's not good enough. Okay, that's fair. I mean, he actually played pretty decent with Höglander in certain stints. But guys, he played with really, really good forwards in Sweden. This is not good enough. He still struggled then. So why is he still struggling now? And I just want to go on record, but I just think I'm still at the stage like everyone wants to jump on a guy like JT Miller and say that's the real fault. He was mean to Petey. And I'm not saying he wasn't. But can I just say that I don't think it was JT Miller's fault? Petey didn't come to camp in shape or ready to play the season after signing the largest contract in franchise history. How would you feel as one of his teammates, especially as one of his the top end teammates, about coming off of a high like Game 7 loss to the Oilers in round 2 and have your richest teammate not come to camp ready? I mean, doesn't he have a good reason to be angry? Now, depending on how rude he was, they were trying to help with the rift. That doesn't help. And if you see what happens there, they were all talking about how it was internal. And then publicly, you start seeing Rutherford come out and speak against Petey not being ready. You've got Alvin, who signed him to that contract, saying that he needs to come to camp ready. There were some really big things going on. And then you've got new general manager and the the Sedin twins come, and they're starting to make comments about culture, about being ready for camp, about being a hard worker. And it's getting awkward. It's getting awkward. And maybe they're talking about someone else, but it seems like they're talking about him. So we see in the Canucks thing that JT Miller gets traded. Tocchet decides not to extend, and he leaves the team on his own accord, goes to the Philadelphia Flyers, and he must have known something, because you get rid of that warrior guy in JT Miller, who plays playoff hockey in preseason, regular season, postseason. He's gone. Now there's no Tocchet. And Tocchet must have known that Quinn Hughes was going to. And it doesn't look like Quinn Hughes and Pettersson were good friends either. And then Marcus Pettersson, who was in the trade, the second trade with Miller goes to the Rangers with that pick. They trade it to Pittsburgh to get Marcus Pettersson, and now he's in New York with the Rangers. And in a recent interview, he said of his time going down to the Rangers, some of my teammates in Vancouver talked about JT and how great of a person he is. And they reached out and said, you're going to love him and his family and stuff like that. And the competitiveness that he brings. Does that sound like a toxic teammate to you? I mean, did he want to win? Yes. Did he do everything perfectly? Probably not. And so after thinking about all of this stuff, I think most Canuck fans, and I am definitely in the boat where Petey needs to go. But there is one massive problem. He doesn't want to go. He wants to stay in Vancouver. He wants to be part of this rebuild. He wants to be part of the solution. Why would Petey want to stay in Vancouver? What is it about here that is enticing him? He's going to get paid $11.6 million wherever he goes. He could have a better opportunity to win a Stanley Cup on another team, help this rebuild out in true fashion. But he's like, nope, don't want to go. Now he's got the trump card, right? He's got the trump card, which is the no movement clause. And there are now rumors surfacing that he has vetoed potential deals with different teams. And he had been rumored to almost been traded to Carolina twice, which he didn't have a no movement clause in that. At that time, the LA Kings have apparently offered deals for Petey, which were lowball offers, which the Canucks didn't want to do. There was rumors that Detroit was interested in the Petey sweepstakes. Don't know what they were offering. Just know that they've kept on hearing rumors. And then the latest one is Petey going to the Pittsburgh Penguins, and it keeps coming across that Petey has vetoed that deal. How are you feeling about Pettersson? Do you think he can bounce back? Do you think he should go? I know that for me, I'm at the stage where I don't think we're going to ever win a cup with him. I don't think he's a playoff guy. He doesn't drive the line. I don't know. I don't think he's going to bounce back. But I hope he does. Don't get me wrong. I hope he does. I don't think he's going to. Just being honest, just being truthful. And people will take that as that I hate the guy. I don't hate the guy. But I do hate the point production the last 2 years. I do dislike watching him produce a lot of points against subpar teams, and then he kind of is a ghost against good teams. I mean, this is what we're seeing in him. I dislike his demeanor. I dislike his interviews. And he keeps telling me and telling us that it's on him and he's got to change and he's going to be fine and he's got to be better. It's like, just be better. Stop telling me you got to be better. Just go be better. I think you should be ripping the puck on the power play. Now, do you have a wrist injury? Is it significant? Can you not shoot the puck like you used to before? Then you got to move him while you can still get something for him. And I don't think you should trade Petey for nothing. I think you should trade Petey and get something of value, whether it's picks, prospects. Listen, the first round picks next year are dynamite. And we need to get some more of those first round picks. But what can you get for Petey? I'm at the stage where I'm no longer chanting the encouragement. Let's go, Petey. I'm now saying, let's go, Petey. Go. It's time for you to go. It's time. Enough with this. But we're going to dive into all of this conversation. There's a number of people that are here. And let's dive into it. Just going to hit the promo and we're going to get into this. So glad you're here. Listen, if you're listening on a podcast on Spotify or Apple, please rate and review. I'd appreciate it. So I'm going to read the comments tonight, and you know what? There are going to be comments. I know that are going to be pro Petey and against Petey. Where I don't know what people are going to say. So here we go. And Coach Rob Willie is in here, and he literally just says, "Here we go." I just went for 26 minutes on Petey and some of his points, and just the good, bad, and the ugly. Sports Muppet says Pettersson, number 40, has 508 points in his 550 games. Folks, forget that part. This dude has had 2.5 seasons bad, but 508 points says that he's an elite talent. Get him someone to play with. Look out. Okay, so let me go with you, okay, Sports Muppets? Let me go with you. So going into the season, who's he got to play with? Brendan Gallagher, DeBrusk, Leckermacki, Carlson, Drew O'Connor, Brock Besser, Ogren. Any of those guys going to change his atmosphere or his production? Hoaglander's gone now. I mean, I don't know. Are they going to put Cotter up there on the wing for him? Look out. We got to get a good guy. Why didn't we bring in Kuzmenko? I made a video on that. We should bring Kuzmenko in. We didn't let him to come. The guy who they both scored 39 goals in the same season together. Crazy that they didn't bring him back. Maybe Kuzmenko didn't want to come back. Adam is here and says, "Go, Petey, go." And he means go away. Green is in the building. Love it when he's here. Brian as well. Great to see you. CMAP is in the building and he says, "In the house." Woo, woo. Okay, let's get into some actual comments. Green says, yes, Petey will bounce back, in my opinion. However, he has this year to prove that a better environment and coaching style can help. That's fair. I really like that. It's time to go, but he's 100%, but he 100% has this year to prove it, and that's my take. And you know what, Green? I appreciate the comment, and I hope that you're right. I really do. I really, really do, but I just don't see it. I'm out on him now. So let's keep scrolling down. Kelly Duncan is here and says, I'm going to be cheering for EP40. EP40. Oh, it's the back check hit. That's the one I don't like. That's the one I don't know. I couldn't remember the word. I didn't write it down. Simon's in the house too. Good to see you. CMAP says, I think we will give him till Christmas to see how he does under Manny Malhotra. And if he doesn't perform, start looking for a trade and get him to waive the no movement clause. Yeah, I mean, it might be too late by then, but I guess that's a possibility. I also think we're stuck with Pettersson. That's what I forgot to say. I don't think that we're going to be able to get much return for him, but apparently there's been teams interested. Kelly Duncan says, see before trade deadline before deciding whether or not to switch teams for Petey. Again, trump card. Green says, I suffer from PTSD. PT, supporter disorder. That's awesome, man. I love it. I love it. PTSD, PD, supporter disorder. I love it. I love it. Rhymes with Joe Mama is here in the bill. What a great name for YouTube. It says Canucks media is now any douche with a mic. Wow. I don't care if you sell Petey, but if you don't take a subpar return to get rid of him, fans have never been down on players who wear the sweater. Well, actually, we do. A lot of us have been upset with players that have not, like Louis Eriksson, couldn't be happy with that guy. Mark Messier, you couldn't be happy with that guy ripping off the team with the amount of production they make. I don't think anyone should be happy with Petey right now. Simon says, do you think Elias Pettersson could sit with our team or go somewhere else, in your opinion, to another NHL team? He could. He just has to waive his no movement clause. Adam says EP40 for Shane Wright, 1-for-1. Who says no? Washington State is similar to BC, and if that's what he likes, you know what? Okay, I think Petey says no. I think the Canucks say no. I think you can get more for Elias Pettersson than Shane Wright, in my opinion. That's what I think. CMAP, of course, I also think that if he shows up to camp out of shape and not prepared to go, all bets are off, and they should be looking for trades immediately. Coach Rob Willie says, maybe see after 20 games how he does. I that's fair. I'm not at that stage. I'm already on the other side of that. Green says this team has been a mess for the last 2 to 3 years. Clean slate now. This is the year he has to prove everything or he's gone. Simple as that. But they will give him this year. Gets easier to trade with time. Peter says, is our team much better this year? It's the team in itself is not what I would consider much better, even though I do think it's better. If we're healthy with a Hedl and a Demko, that does change things a bit. But like, how much better are we talking? What I do think's better is our management and coaching, especially our coaching. Maybe not the management, because Ryan Johnson is still new at the whole NHL level start of general managing. But I do think that coaching wise, Manny Malhotra is a big upgrade over Adam Foote. Green does say, would not surprise me to see PD get back to a point per game level this year. That would be ideal. 82 games, 82 points. Sign me up. Rhymes with Joe Mama says, unless you believe he is a locker room cancer, you keep him until his value has rebounded. He was the bullied, not the bully. His value is low. Do you keep buying at the top and selling for a loss? That's fair. It's a fair statement. Green says, I have faith in Ryan Johnson, the Twins, and Manny. This team will become elite. Whoever doesn't prove themselves and prove they're good teammates will be gone. The new wave is upon us. Coach Rob Willie thinks that Elias Pettersson can get up to 90 points. I predicted last year he was going to get to 79, and I was very, very wrong. Flashy News is in the building. He says, ooh, I'm late. Evening, Kempner. Hey, welcome to the channel. Green says, Trev, 70 and up should be the baseline. The low end of the baseline, but the baseline, in my opinion, I could live with that. I just think 70 is too low to expect for $11.6 million. I'm sorry, but 70 is, he had 66 points in his first year, at 66 in his second year, minus the COVID year in year 3, 68 points in year 4. He's got to be at that 80-point level, in my opinion, and I'd be okay with it. Bruce says, maybe you should do a stats video on Besser. Yeah, I can definitely do that. It won't get as many views, I'll tell you that right now, because everyone wants to talk about EP40. But yes, I could do that. Guys are making 18 now. 11.6 isn't as bad in a rising cap world. 70 plus would be good to great value. I think we're stating that. It's still bad. It's still bad. It's not good to great if you have 70 points or 75 points. I'm sorry. It's just not good enough. It had to take a quick drink there. So when you're streaming and podcasting, you got to make sure you have some H2O, good old water, from my Canucks water bottle, hockey water bottle. Rhymes with Joe Mama says, that's fantasy talk. Who cares if he's overpaid? Canucks have $17 million in cap space. Why are you spending someone else's money when it doesn't even mean anything? It means something. It means something to our team. So, Angelo says, needs to teach dogs new tricks. That's what he says. Rhymes with Joe Mama says 2 miscarriages last year. I mean, that's the report. I'm not sure how many or when the time frame was. I don't know. Green says, forget all the excuses, forget the past. This is his judgment year. That's fair. Flashy News says, sorry to hear they will meet you in heaven one day. Thank you. Yeah, my wife and I had walked through that as well. That's not easy, but we were able to get through it. So, yeah. So what's the best trade available for Petey? That's a great question, Major General Teo. That's a great question. I posed the question, would you trade Petey for the Ruck Twins on Twitter, on Facebook, on, all over the place? I was saying, yes, I would want more than that personally. I don't think they're good enough to go, but that's just my personal opinion. Ryan says, let's go, Petey. Get 70 points. Shut RevTrev. Okay. Dude, like I've said like 16 times during this thing, 70 points is not good enough. That's basically his rookie season. Like, really? We got to have higher hopes than that, right? Green says, I'm a supporter, but a lot of his criticism was warranted. I see points on both sides, and I agree with that. Rhymes says, did he talk to that D-bag Quinn Hughes? I mean, are you really mad that Quinn Hughes decided to leave Vancouver? Why would you want to play here? We were the worst team in the league. We were trending down, and we're talking about a rebuild, and the coaches are like, hey, man, are you going to stay? And he's like, I'm not staying. I'm just letting you know. Why don't you go get something for me? It's not like he pulled a a Johnny Gaudreau and just walked. He told them in advance, and we got 4 first-round picks for him. I don't know what else you want. I don't blame Quinn Hughes 1 second for wanting to leave this team. It's a disaster. It's a disaster. And now, can it turn around? Sure, we'll see. Angelo says, let him sit in the press box. You know, Angelo says, if you don't do your job, you're fired. But we can't fire him because he's got a no movement clause that we gave him. Flashy News says it's Petey's skating. Look at old videos of his. He had explosive long strides, not his skating. No, now his skating is choppy and has no breakaway speed at all. I don't know if I agree with that. I remember, was it this year or was it last year against Utah? He had that breakaway to win the game, and then he missed the net by a mile. Angelo says, missed the old Pete. Where the guy went? Where did the guy go? You know, Petey is like Bure. No, he is not. They're not the same. I mean, the 1 year, sure. Yeah, I guess 1 or 2 years. But I mean, Bure was heads above him for his entire career. Rhyme says, is there something missing? You're not going to get the full value for him until the cap gets higher. You're selling low. How much did you sell low, losing Bitcoin? That's awesome. None of this locker room crap will fly with RJ, the Twins, Manny running the ship. No excuses for anyone. It's go time, sink or swim. Yep. Angela says, for Pete's sake, he's got a headache. Fabled Heroes in the building. Good to see you, man. Major General Teo says, I would trade Petey to the Kings. Kopitar left the hole. I would too, but depends on what they're offering in return. Green says, JT was a poor playoff performer. His first 6 attempts, just saying. He also scored the game-winning goal in Game 5 against the Oilers. Just saying. Just saying. I was there. Saw it live. Super delicious tacos in the building. If there's one thing Canucks fans can do, it's to boo the McJesus out of a player. What does that even mean? He doesn't want to leave now. Okay, fine. Let's see how long that lasts when the fans are berating you constantly. I know. Why does he want to stay? And he's saying, I don't approve of that, but it will happen if he doesn't finally show up. Rhymes says it was going to come out that Tocchet was the one who sicked JT on Petey. Tocchet quit, JT quit, Hughes quit. Petey is the last man standing. In my opinion, JT Miller did not quit. The management came to JT Miller and said, would you be open to a trade? And he said, yes, because they needed his approval. They're like, you guys can't coexist, so we're going to say you're going to need to go. That was not on JT Miller. Fabled Hero says, while I agree he likely needs to go, to the fact that he wants to stay is a good thing in my opinion. I hope so. Green says Vancouver's going to be a wagon in 5 years or less. Trust the process. Ryan says, I want players that want to be here and play as a Canuck. That's fair. That's a fair comment. Major with the $5 donation. Thank you so much. Says, imagine if Vancouver kept Miller and Hughes and booted Petey. Just offload Petey to the LA Kings. I know. I've thought about this scenario many times. If they would have just got rid of Pettersson and they would have got a great haul for him at that time, would have JT Miller and Hughes stuck around. If Petey wants to be a Canuck and be a part of the if Petey wants to be a Canuck and part of the problem and be a part of the problem. Yeah, I don't know. CMAP says, I don't think EP40 can bounce back, especially looking at your idea of a bounce back. But if you are to remove his 2 high point seasons, he's a 60-point player at best. Sure. Yeah, that's fair. Would you live in Pittsburgh? Yes, I would. I would love to play with Sidney Crosby. I absolutely. If I was a hockey player and I had a chance to play with Sidney Crosby, I'd take it. Go to a franchise that has a winning culture. Absolutely, a place where you can start over and people can just appreciate you for who you are. Another drink of the water. Cliff, I think he will bounce back to be a 60 to 70 point player, but never a 100-point player. You know what? If that's the case, that's bad value. Ryan says he wants to be part of the solution. Okay. Rhymes says cry more. Ryan says RevTrev hates Petey. Reg says 100%. Kopitar is gone. They need a center. Major General Teo says, yeah, I think they do need a center. They just need to pay for one, you know. Green says Kemp, his 11.6 looks better and better every year in a rising cap world. Nothing to lose by waiting. You're right. There's nothing to lose by waiting. I just disagree that it looks better and better. It looks bad. His production needs to go up. You're right. Cliff, he doesn't hate Petey. He hates his character. There's a difference. Right? Good job. Angela says couple of crutches and bandages. You know, there's so many excuses for him, right? Major General Teo gifted a one Kempner Canucks membership on YouTube. Thank you so much for blessing someone with that. Ryan says he's a Petey's hater, blames one player for the whole mess. I did not blame Petey for the whole mess. I did not do that. He is part of the problem for sure. But it is what happened last year is not all on Petey. Absolutely not. But 51 points is just not good enough. He wasn't a difference maker. He had 0 game-winning goals last year. 0. Cliff, we will never get the real value of Pettersson. We are going to suck for the next few years anyways. Just keep him. Imagine us being a better team next season and we miss the tank. No thanks. Major General Tale says, I hate Petey. Whoa. But if he gets 90 points next year, goes to another team, I'll be happy. There you go. CMAP, if he wants to be in Vancouver and be a Canuck, then be a Canuck, show up prepared, and bust your butt. You're making $11 million a season. Major General Terrell says, imagine us being a better team. Nicholas is in the building. Just another blemish on Benning's draft record. Sensei Dean's in the building. You know, I don't care about goals or assists as much as what it takes to win. If we win, that is all I care about. But we need effort, grit, consistency, confidence, and clutchness. That's a fair take. Justin, good to see you, my friend. They are trying to trade him. It will happen. He's not the guy for our young players to look to. They're hoping he regains value. That's a good point. Roy says, if a player is loved by fans, it is likely because he has produced. We are allowed to love a player because he brings it. We aren't, however, allowed to be disappointed if he no longer produces. I know, it's like, why can't we be disappointed? Major General Teo says Kings will take Petey for $9 million. Vancouver covers the difference, and Vancouver gets picks for 2055 AD. That's awesome. Nicholas Pettersson is burning down the house that Bure built. Woo! I like that one. Justin says, but really, if he doesn't leave, we're in a rebuild and don't honestly need him to produce, and his cap isn't an issue for us. It's true. And he says it's not a clean slate for this team until Petey is gone. I like that comment. Shannon says, go Petey, go. I'm giving you this hockey season. If you play like you did, you get paid $11.6 million. And I work harder at Walmart and I don't get paid $11.6 million. So shape up or ship out. That's right, Shannon. You told them. Sensei Dean says it's the potential. Without a better training facility, good luck. Yeah, now that's the other one. We don't have a training facility of our own, so we're not really going to be that good. You know, Petey's got another excuse. Settle down now and says his trade value goes up every year. His contract shrinks. That's fair. Dreamer says, go Canucks go. I think Malhotra could get the best out of Petey and bring him back to a good trade value for a good trade. There you go. Green says, why trade him at his lowest value? Nothing to lose by waiting. If he produces, his value goes up, and 11.6 looks better and better every year. And if he sucks, cool. We're looking to lose anyways. CMAP says, listen to your podcast with the Abby play-by-play guy. Great interview. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, Brandon Astle was amazing. What a great dude. I have listened to that podcast now 3 times. I have really enjoyed his interview with me. Brian wants to play 84 games this season. Justin says 11 million is the second liner money. It is. I think it's still top end money, I guess, but no idea. I know. Nylander makes what he makes, right? Matthews makes what he makes, doesn't he? McDavid makes 12.5. That's top line, one of the best players. Settle Down Now says Heischer just signed for 11.7, 6 years, which is what Petey has left, and averaged around 70 points. Brian says trade EP40 for a bag of pucks. Brian, you have no idea how many people have come into my comments and said this in the last month. They're done with them. Brian Daly is here. It says it should be normalized that players have to meet a criteria if they want to keep a no movement clause. I agree. That's a great point. Settle Down Now says 5 years matures 2032, same as Petey, though. Great comp, 70 points would make him very tradable. There you go. Yeah, I think it makes him tradable if he gets to 70. Dreamer, do you think Quinn would stay under Malhotra and RJ? Hard to say. I'm not sure. Sports Muppet says Pettersson is the most hated Vancouver Canucks in the media and all sports casters. Sure, yeah. We're very critical, and they should be. Shannon says Quinn Hughes did not quit. I am happy for Quinn Hughes. Yeah, same. Fabled Hero says that's not true, though Hughes said he wasn't re-signing the year they won the division and made it to the second round, according to RJ. According to Jim Rutherford. Oh, JR, not RJ. My apologies. Brian Hildebrandt said Quinn quit on the team and fans. I don't think he did, but that's okay. Settle Down Now said, Ryan says, settle down now. Yeah, he sure has only hit 80 points once. Ryan says, so RevTrev, you think Hughes and Miller are innocent? No. I didn't say that. At all. What happened in the dressing room, I do not think that JT Miller is innocent at all. I just don't think that you can pin everything on him there. I don't think you can pin everything on him. But fans love to say, this guy's a cancer. This guy's toxic. Let's get rid of him. I just think it's not always true. But I think he was really mad at EP40 for not coming in shape. Yes, and he should have been. Jay Wood says, Petey can't hold a candle, Bure. I agree. Sensei Dean, I think any wage above 10 puts pressure on the players to perform and also puts you on the trading block. Calvin says, I hope Petey gets traded. Get all this old noise out of here. Same with the Brusque. I will say this each time. Okay? Super Delicious Taco says JT was hard on Petey long before Talkett. And that's according to Brand Richardson and Bruce Boudreau. Pretty good sources. I agree he was hard on him. I absolutely agree. I just don't think that Petey is the innocent little lamb that you guys are all thinking he is. Green says Petey to the Kings, but only if we can get Byfield back somehow. I'd do that, of course. Okay, we're at 55 minutes. Just going to scroll down and see if there's some other people in here. I haven't made any comments. J-Lo is here. RevTrev, why hate a player who wants to play here? Love a player who love a player who abandoned the team. Well, it's this word called production. Production. You got to produce. Quinn Hughes produced more than his contract was worth. He had 92 points in a season, and he got paid, what, $7 million? So I don't know. I love JT Miller. Love how he plays. I love how he plays. I don't like how Pettersson's played the last 2 years. 2.5, actually. So I don't understand why that's hard for people to understand. My question is, how are you okay with overpaying a player who just doesn't, you're talking about 45 points, 51 points. That's just unacceptable. How are you happy with this? How are you okay with this? How do you believe that he's going to bounce back? What part of this team, this thing, do you think he's going to be able to bounce back? I don't understand. This makes zero sense. These are the kind. Why hate a player who wants to play here? Because he's been awful for 2.5 years. And he's our highest paid player in franchise history. Wow. That's why. You want to know my answer? There it is, right there. Fleshtacular says Petey would clear waivers. He can't even go on waivers. He's on a no movement clause. J-Lo responds, the hate focus on his points, lack of, but forgets to mention his defensive play and his block shots. Bro, you weren't here for the beginning of the podcast. I literally said he's an elite level passer. He's a great defensive forward. I did not mention his block shots. That's one thing I forgot to mention. I talked about how he used to rip the puck on the power play. I talked about how he has had really great moments in the past, some really great goals or great assists. He's had some great moments. I'm not saying that. Watch and listen to the whole thing before you come in here at the end and comment. And I'm not even mad at you. I'm just passionate. But it's just listen to the whole thing, man. But Fleshtacular saying, I can get a guy for $750,000 to block shots. Fleshtacular is like, it's the ref's fault. Major General Teo says, imagine if the Canucks fans just demanded that players win. Everything else is mostly trivia, although character is a secondary consideration. Super Delicious Stock says, I think ownership is being so cheap because the brother wants out for $700 million, and they also have to spend probably $30 million on a practice facility. $700 million? What do you mean? The brother wants out for $700 million. I don't get that. Kelvin, I don't want to win for a year only. I want to win for a few years. I want this team to be a dynasty. I agree. I want this team to be a contender. Cliff says, what do you expect of his performance this season? 80 points while being defensively responsible? Yes. I said 79 points, and he failed. Let's keep going. Dreamer says, a bag of pucks and some first rounders, either prospects or picks. Quinn didn't quit. He held the team up, and he just couldn't do it anymore. And he was a top 5 Canuck overall. I agree. Monty is in the building. EP40 can't handle pressure. He cracks. And this is a high-pressure game. He says that he will never be a winner. He needs people to carry him. Woo! I didn't say I hate him. I was reading General Major Teo's comment. But I do hate how he's played for the last 2.5 years. You said it, he says. Oh, my gosh. Brian says he's never bouncing back. Monty goes on to say, I want to play for Vancouver. Does that mean I get to make millions and play on the top 2 lines? Yes. Yes. Green is loving the passion. That's great. Major General Tale says, it's beyond my comprehension how Canuck fans, Vancouver fans, support players that do not produce. I think Canadians are just too loyal to a fault. Dreamer thinks that Manny won't be afraid to sit him if he's needed to. Shannon says, thanks for your passion and for your truth on the Canucks and the players. Green says, agree or disagree. Love you, Trev. Absolutely. I love being here. I love producing this content. Love that you guys are here. You don't have to agree with my comments, but it's my opinion and I'm sticking to it. Monty says, don't hate Petey. I just hate having him on the Canucks. Oh, my goodness. That was a good one. Ryan counters back, says, also, RevTrev, it's an 84 games season this year. Okay, so he's got to be in the 80s to 100 now, right? CMAP says, Rev doesn't hate EP40. He hates his production being the highest paid player in franchise history. He hates his attitude. He hates his excuses. And I agree with him fully. There you go. And Shannon's like, man, he's not going to take this kind of crap from Petey. He's going to sit him. Super Delicious Taco says, Aquilini's brothers values his stakes on the team. Aquilini's brother values his stake of the team at $700 million and wants to cash out. Oh, that's what you're saying. David W's in the building. The Canucks over-relied on Quinn Hughes. See, Major General Teo says, I hate Petey. I did not say that. But I am strongly disliking him at this stage because he's not producing. I don't hate the guy. Dreamer, I don't hate him. I'm just disappointed. There you go. Wust is in the building. I hope Petey goes to Vegas, wins a cup, and rubs it in Canuck fans' faces. They deserve it 100%. What? Why would you want that? Why would you want that? Russell from Nothing is Perfect here. EP40 is going to break the franchise point record before the end of his career. Sure, he might. I don't know. I think he's going to get traded. I think we're stuck with him. I don't know. Monty, Petey would be great for Calgary. Yeah, him for Huberto, straight up. No. David W. says, maybe Manny will do to EP40 as Habs head coach Marty St. Louis did once to Jonathan Duran, sit him at least for a few shifts. Wow, a few shifts? I don't know. Maybe for a game. Krista is here. Is there any way that EP40 gets picked up by ice while on day off in the States? No, that's brutal. Sorry. Yikes. No, I don't like that one. Sorry, Krista, that's over the line. Cliff says, you're going to get your 80 points, Trev. Minus 80. You're 80. Oh, so no, you're not. He didn't say 80 points. He says, you're going to get your 80, Trev. Minus 80. Minus 80 plus minus. Wuss says, Petey wins a cup before Canucks. Mark my words, Canucks are cursed. Maybe. Major General Tale says, nothing is perfect. I hope Petey does that, but I'll stop hating Petey if he breaks that record. Roy says, the Sedins were hardworking. Manny, too. What does this mean for their relationship with EP40 if he doesn't show up preparation-wise? It's going to be bad. Okay, Krista, I'm going to give you another shot. EP40, he's rejecting trades for crying out loud. He's like a hemorrhoid you can't get rid of. Trev, I would still, he said, this is Brian, okay? Trev, I would still hate EP40 if he scored 250 points in a season. I would not. I would not. Okay. Last comment of the night. Can we talk about anything else? Like, would you trade Verlander? I've already talked about that in another video, man. Talked about that in another video. All right. We're going to call tonight an hour and 5 minutes. This thing is. It is a popular thing. Over 109 people have been here tonight watching this. If you're watching later, please, everyone, hit the like and subscribe. At least I'm honest. What I say, I'm true. I produce Canucks content that is passionate, realistic, and honest. And before we dive into anything else, JLo comes in and says, RevTrev, I did not mean to upset. I'm just saying that there should be a consideration for players who want to be a Canuck. His decline is not entirely his fault. He was bullied to sign the contract. Yeah, it's like, hey, we're going to offer you $11.6 million for 8 years. We're bullying you. If you don't sign it, we're going to trade you. We're really mean. 11.6, top 5 in the NHL. Boy, those Canuck management, they're really mean. What a bunch of bullies. All right? Right, JLo? So, no, I know. It's all in good fun that we're having tonight. Hope you have a great night, everyone. I appreciate each one of you. Of course, let's remember we need to see this team turn things around. So let's believe in blue. Let's enjoy this rebuild because we asked for it. And, of course, always, we cheer this team on. Go, Canucks. Go.